The abyss beyond stars. The Erebus, a solitary research vessel, drifted silently in the black void of interstellar space. Its mission was clear: investigate the strange gravitational anomaly detected in a desolate corner of the galaxy, far from any mapped systems. But as the ship approached the source, an unexplainable unease settled over the crew. Dr. Elara Quinn, the ship's xenophysicist, stared at her monitor. The readings made no sense. "Commander Hayes," she called out, her voice trembling. "The anomaly isn't just a gravitational field. It's fluctuating, almost like it's alive." "Alive?" Hayes asked, his weathered face frowning. Elara hesitated. "It's emitting patterns, pulses in the electromagnetic spectrum. Not random. It's almost like language." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Language meant intelligence. And intelligence out here, beyond the reach of human exploration. As they drew closer, the anomaly resolved into something visible, a vast structure suspended in the void. It wasn't a planet or a star. It wasn't natural. It was a colossal, twisting mass of dark, angular shapes, geometries that hurt the eyes to focus on. The more one looked, the less it seemed to follow the laws of reality. "What is that?" whispered Ensign Cade, his voice trembling. "Whatever it is," Hayes said, his tone grim, "it's not something we were meant to find." Despite his instincts, the mission required answers. They prepared a shuttle to approach the structure. Hayes, Elara, and Cade descended into the darkness. The structure's surface was cold, smooth, and devoid of any recognizable markings. But as their boots touched down, a low hum resonated through the shuttle, vibrating the very air around them. The hum wasn't mechanical. It felt organic, like a deep, resonating heartbeat. "I don't like this," Cade muttered, gripping his scanner tightly. "Stay close," Hayes ordered. "We're here to gather data and leave. No heroics." Elara ran her hand over the structure's surface, her glove trembling. "It's warm," she said, her voice barely audible. "And it's vibrating." The hum grew louder, and the smooth surface beneath their feet began to shift. A doorway appeared, opening into a dark, yawning void. "We're not going in there," Cade said, stepping back. "We have to," Elara said, her voice distant. She was already moving toward the entrance, her eyes glazed. "It's calling us." "Quinn, stop," Hayes barked, grabbing her arm. She snapped out of her trance, blinking in confusion. The hum seemed to fade for a moment, but the doorway remained. "This isn't right," Hayes said. "We're heading back to the ship." Before they could turn, the doorway swallowed them. They awoke in darkness. Their comms crackled, distorted and incomprehensible. The air was thick and suffocating, filled with an acrid metallic taste. The walls around them pulsed faintly, like veins coursing with some unknowable substance. The geometry was impossible, the angles wrong, bending and twisting in ways that defied logic. "Where are we?" Cade's voice was panicked. "The structure, it's alive," Elara whispered. We're inside it." A distant sound echoed through the corridors, a low, guttural growl, followed by a wet, slithering noise. Something was moving, something vast. "Move," Hayes ordered, his voice firm despite the fear in his eyes. "Stay together. We find a way out." As they navigated the twisting corridors, the walls began to shift, closing behind them, guiding them deeper. Shadows flickered at the edges of their vision, shapes that vanished when they turned to look. The growling grew louder, closer. Cade was the first to see it. "Oh God," he whispered, his voice breaking. A towering, writhing mass of flesh and eyes emerged from the shadows, its form constantly shifting, never staying the same. It emitted a sound that wasn't a sound at all, a noise that burrowed into their minds, filling them with a primal terror. "Run!" Hayes shouted, firing his weapon. The plasma bolts disappeared into the creature's body, swallowed whole without effect. They ran, the creature pursuing them through the shifting maze. The walls seemed to close in, forcing them down narrower and narrower passages. Cade stumbled, and the creature was upon him, dragging him into the darkness. His screams echoed, then were abruptly silenced. They burst into a vast chamber, its ceiling stretching into infinity. At its center was an enormous, pulsating orb of light, its surface swirling with incomprehensible shapes and colors. The hum was deafening now, reverberating through their very bones. "It's the heart," Alara said, staring at the orb. "We have to destroy it." "And how do you suggest we do that?" Hayes snapped. The creature emerged from the corridor, its many eyes fixed on them. Hayes fired his weapon again, but it was useless. Alara, however, was already moving toward the orb, her face set with determination. "What are you doing?" Hayes shouted. "It's in our minds," she said. "If I can reach it, I can stop it." Before Hayes could stop her, she plunged her hand into the orb. A blinding light filled the chamber, and the creature let out an otherworldly scream. The walls trembled, and the structure began to collapse. "Quinn!" Hayes shouted, but she was gone, absorbed into the light. The next thing Hayes knew, he was back on the Erebus, alone. The structure was gone, the anomaly no longer detectable. But the hum remained, faint and distant, echoing in his mind. As the Erebus drifted away, Hayes couldn't shake the feeling that the entity wasn't truly gone. It had merely let him leave. And somewhere, in the endless void of space, it was waiting.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through Bloom of Desolation. We hope the story sparked your imagination and gave you a deeper appreciation for the complexities of science, technology, and human resilience. If you enjoyed this narrative, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing to help us continue creating thought-provoking content. Your support means the world to us, and we'd love to hear your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Stay curious, stay inspired, and remember every story has the power to shape the future.